On YouTube, you will find a lot of tutorials teaching you how to pull the chest to the bar. But who actually needs to pull chest to bar and who will benefit from pulling chest to bar? If you are interested in learning advanced strength programming strategies, then make sure to check out our strength programming course. And in that course, you will learn everything that you need to know in order to design the perfect individual strength program. And next to that, every week we will have live sessions together with me where we can take a look at your program and critique it and make it the best version for you. Category 1 of athletes who I would recommend to pull chest to bar are athletes that actually want to unlock the skill of pulling chest to bar, as this is a pretty specific ROM that needs some special conditioning, and so I would consider it a skill to unlock itself. And if you want to learn this range of motion, if you want to be able to do that, then of course you need specific practice for it. So if you want to pull chest to bar, you should pull chest to bar. Category 2 would be weighted calisthenics / street lifting athletes. And for those athletes, I would not recommend to pull chest to bar, and I will explain to you why. If we take a look at the range of motion requirements for street lifters, we have chin over bar for chin-ups or pull-ups. If you now in your training set the range of motion to chest to bar, that will limit the absolute amount of weight you can use. That means your training specificity towards 1 rep max competition standard will decrease. That means you're definitely leaving strength gains on the table as you want to condition yourself for the specific range of motion that is actually tested in the sport, in the competition. So if you see yourself as a street lifter, as a weighted calisthenics athlete, you don't need to perform your pull-ups with that much range of motion, as again, it will decrease the amount of weight you can use and so make your training less specific. That being said, I want to give you a small add-on to that street lifting weighted calisthenics bubble. When I talk about chest to bar pull-ups, I talk about the controlled chest to bar pull-ups. So regular tempo and you pull the full range of motion to the top. There's other ways of doing chest to bar pull-ups that include a bit more acceleration. And if you include more acceleration, that could be a very nice assistance exercise to condition your explosive pulling for muscle ups. And that is definitely a assistance exercise, a variation that can be useful for street lifters as well, as the muscle up is a competition lift. But then we're talking about executions like that, which is somewhat a different movement pattern, as it does not require you to actually actively pull that end range, but you rather just accelerate through. Because actively pulling that end range is something that requires a bit of a different pulling pattern. It's very arm dominant, and you can argue that in an edge case, it could still be a useful assistance exercise for a muscle up in order to be able to control the transition a bit better, like that. So you pull here and then get that transition a bit more controlled. But that will be a very, very specific case that is probably not valid for a lot of you out there. Case number 3 is athletes that do weighted calisthenics or just pull-ups, and their main goal is not leveling up the 1 rep max, but growing some decent wings. And if that is your goal, you can definitely pull chest to bar with a big butt. And that is that you pull chest to bar if that range of motion is comfortable for you and if it does not limit the overall stimulus too much and if you are not using it as your failure point. So let's say you are doing sets of 5 or sets of 6 and you can comfortably go with the first couple of reps chest to bar, and then you can only pull chin over bar. I would still do it and not stop when you cannot hit chest to bar anymore, because then you will definitely leave gains on the table. But if the first reps comfortably allow it, of course you can take that stimulus and create some more gains with that. When we're looking at stimulating the back muscles that are working in that top range of motion, then actually a better choice, instead of trying to squeeze out a lot of chest to bar reps, is to integrate some rows. As in that top range, due to that horizontal pulling pattern, the arms will dominate that top position, as we cannot really pull the arm back as we are in a pretty straight position. So 100% does work the back, but it will include a ton of arms as well. So the limiting factor is most likely not your back. So to get the limiting factor to the back, we can use a rowing setup like that, where in the end range, where the arm is next to the body, you have roughly a 90-degree angle from your upper arm to the cable. That means that the external load has the biggest leverage in that part of the pull. So the most stress is exerted on the muscle in that position from the external weight. And there you have most likely really the back muscles as a limiting factor. And depending on your grip width, you can of course also row a bit more to the side, or if you're doing chin-ups, very close to your body.